What is going on, guys? WWE Figure Oz back with another video, and today we have the Fastlane 2021 results and reaction. As you know, Fastlane was on today and it was a pretty good show. I rated it 8 out of 10. It was entertaining. There were a lot of good matches. It didn't go for too long like WWE used to do with pay-per-views. Now they're actually making their pay-per-views a bit shorter, which is great because without a crowd it just gets boring. Watching a 4-hour show without a crowd kind of gets boring. Before we get started, if you guys haven't already, feel free to follow me on Instagram. If you have followed me on Instagram, and you probably would have seen my stories, I posted my reaction and the results of most of the matches. So yeah, definitely recommend you go follow my Instagram, as well as subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get started. Starting with the Kickoff Show, we had Riddle versus Mustafa Ali. I didn't actually watch this match. I actually forgot the pay-per-view was on today. So yeah, I kind of missed the Kickoff Show. I only watched like the last couple seconds of the Kickoff Show. So yeah, because I forgot the pay-per-view was on. But I did hear that Retribution attacked Ali, and which I'm really happy about because I'm not the biggest fan of Retribution. Yeah, I'm glad they're splitting up now, and it's pretty much all I have to say. And Riddle did retain. Next up, which is the first match of the show, we had Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Bianca Belair and the SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks for the Women's Tag Team titles. This was an okay match. Yeah, it was pretty good. Of course, there was the tension between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, of course, because they are facing each other at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title. In the end, Baszler and Nia ended up picking the victory up due to some miscommunication from Bianca and Sasha. And at the end of the match, Sasha slapped Bianca. And yeah, now this match is guaranteed 100%. Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, main event. Well, maybe not main event, but one of the main events of WrestleMania, and it is going to be epic. At the end, we ended with Bianca Belair pointing at the side, looking awesome. Next up, we had Big E versus Apollo Crews. I know that isn't Apollo Crews, that's actually Shelton Benjamin, but I don't have a Apollo Crews figure, so we're gonna have to just make do with Shelton Benjamin. This match was for the Intercontinental title. The match was actually pretty good to start off with, but the ending was a bit weird. It was like, I don't know, it was just weird. Big E picked up the victory at the end, but the pin was just weird. I don't know, it seemed like a botch or something. But yeah, it was still pretty cool. Yeah, and then after the match, Apollo Crews attacked Big E and basically stood tall after the match. Not too much to say about that match. It was pretty good, but wasn't the best, also wasn't the worst. Like, it was alright. Next up, we had Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. Well, we were supposed to have Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman, but Shane McMahon got injured, so instead it was Braun Strowman versus Elias. Yeah, alright match. Nothing too big happened. It was a really quick match. Of course, Braun Strowman ended up picking the victory, and I do see Shane McMahon facing Braun Strowman at WrestleMania now. Since they didn't get this match on Fastlane, probably going to go one-on-one against each other at WrestleMania, which will be pretty cool. We'll see what Shane McMahon does, who might jump off the ship or something. You know, he is Shane McMahon. Yeah, an okay match, nothing too big, but yeah, let's move on. Next up, we had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. This was actually a pretty good match. I did enjoy it. And yeah, at the end, Rollins ended up picking the victory. And at WrestleMania, it will probably be Seth Rollins versus Cesaro, because during the match, Rollins was ranting about how Cesaro swinged him 22 times. Yeah, so probably at WrestleMania, it'll be Rollins versus Cesaro, but this match was pretty good. I do recommend watching it if you haven't already watched the pay-per-view. And yeah, like I said, Rollins ended up picking up the victory. Next match was Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus in a no-holds-barred match. This was epic. Drew McIntyre came out with a whole cool-as entrance. It was really cool. He had blue face paint on his face. It was epic. Sheamus came out, they had a full-on brawl. They went over the barricade, up to the little Thunderdome screens or whatever you would call them, where they show people's faces. And Drew McIntyre pushed Sheamus through it. The whole thing exploded. It was cool as. It was amazing. Then they came over to the barricade. Sheamus put Drew McIntyre straight through the announcer's table. They were standing on top of the barricade and bam, right through the announcer's table. This match was epic. They used a bunch of weapons. I remember kendo stick being used. They used pretty much everything you could ever used. It was an awesome match, and Drew McIntyre ended up winning, and he will face Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Next up, we had Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton, my favorite match of the night. In my opinion, it was epic. I mean, they had a fireball, they had a bunch of pyro come up from under the ring. It did look edited, but still pretty cool. They had fire from the ring post, pretty much fire everywhere. They were, Alexa and Randy were outside of the ring, and a lightning rig fell, like, right in front of Randy, which was really, really cool. And then to end the match, the Fiend came out, and he had a completely different look. He looked all burnt. He looks so creepy. Do you think this looks creepy? Just wait till you see how the Fiend looks now. He looks, it was really, really cool. So glad to see the Fiend back. Finally, he's back with a new look. Looks awesome. Going to be even more creepy. And it's pretty much guaranteed now that Randy Orton will face the Fiend at WrestleMania, which will be awesome. I cannot wait for WrestleMania now. And we're going to have a crowd back. It's going to be even more epic. This match will be epic. WrestleMania, Randy, Fiend. Oh, gonna be awesome. This was match of the night, like I said, in my opinion. Alexa versus Randy. It was awesome. Definitely recommend watching it if you haven't already watched a pay-per-view. Then next up, last but certainly not least, we had Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. The winner will become the new Universal Champion and face Edge at WrestleMania in the main event. This was an awesome match. I did enjoy it. Roman versus Bryan, they had an epic match. Edge was a special guest enforcer. During the match, Jey Uso came out and pretty much interrupted the match, and then Edge did. Edge hit Daniel Bryan with a chair. I know that is the Miz on the floor. We're just gonna say that's Daniel Bryan because I don't have a Daniel Bryan action figure. But Edge hit Bryan and Reigns with a chair, walked off, and at the end, Roman Reigns ended up victorious. Now, I do think this will be now a triple threat match. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan versus Edge. Not sure how I feel about it. I mean, it would be cool, but I was really excited for Edge versus Reigns. But Edge versus Bryan versus Reigns does still sound cool. I reckon it'll be a pretty good match if that does happen. But what's pretty much guaranteed is that Roman Reigns and Edge will be in the match. There you guys have it. This has been the Fastlane 2021 result and reaction. Like I said before, I give this pay-per-view an 8 out of 10. It was a pretty good show. There were a bit, some matches that weren't really entertaining to me. Big E versus Apollo. It was alright, like I said, but not that good. And also Braun Strowman versus Elias. That was pretty bland, but yeah, still a pretty good show. 8 out of 10. And yeah, if you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, I highly suggest you do, because I did post my reactions on my story, so you guys can check them all out, as well as subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit a like and comment down below what you guys rate the show, if you guys liked the show, if you enjoyed it. And we are on the road to WrestleMania, the last show before WrestleMania. For US viewers, the last show on the WWE Network. This has been another video from WWE Figure Oz.